And welcome back to Broke Till Friday, episode 37. Edward, where's episode 36? I keep asking you, where the fuck is episode 36?
36, that's the hour-long one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I told you, me and Walter don't come out in it, basically.
Oh, okay, then this is episode 36.
Yeah, this is episode 36.
All right, this is episode 36, I guess. And we're like 3 weeks late. Nah, it's fine.
3.5 weeks, 21 days, same thing.
Basically, yeah, the last time we recorded, the last time we released one, let me see.
Yeah.
Jesus, it has been a little...
1982.
Wait, there it is. Yes. So the last episode came out. So it was the 7th of May, and then the next one came out on the 24th of May. So it's basically 2 weeks. And there are 0 listens on both of them. So
Really? Oh,
all right.
I know my friends listen to it, but they listen to like portions of an episode at a time. So they're like 3 episodes behind anything we release.
There's no starts either. But all right.
Yeah.
But I did see that people are listening to it on Google Play and on Apple Music. So whoever those 3 people are, thanks for listening. We'll have YouTube up shortly.
Yeah, we're getting
maybe
YouTube.
Maybe we should try a new stick, like a new
Shtick? You mean?
You got a bird passing by.
You got a whole train passing by. He lives next to the train tracks.
Maybe we should just do like make it into like an investment kind of like type of podcast, you know?
No one wants to listen to that boring shit. Because
but like it's about
the ones we have. The ones that we have the most people listening to were the fun ones where we were like actually having conversations and talking.
Yeah.
Not just going, so the NASDAQ today. No. It's like I'm literally looking at like it's like a little bit of views on like a shitty one, and then a lot of views on microwavable uranium-238. That was a great episode.
Yeah.
Because we were just fucking talking out the ass, and it was hilarious.
I think one of our best episodes is still the police one, even though it was poorly edited, no?
Yeah.
Which policeman?
The one with chest,
right? The one's like, what do you want me to do anyways?
Oh, yeah, what do you want me to do? That one has 61 listens, but that's also one of the first ones. Like the first episode has 147 listens.
Yeah.
And it goes down to 50, then 61, and then 44, then 53,
just
then 28, 17,
well,
20, 20, 10.
I don't know. Maybe people just want to see how it was, you know, in the beginning.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, there's still a couple people listening in April, so not too bad. 2 people listen to Zoom until Friday. All right, well, we just gotta advertise it more.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, keep going, honestly. Just keep having content. Because remember, every time we're talking in our friend group, we're always like, "Why aren't we recording this?" So now we have something to record.
Yeah.
All right. Broke Till Friday podcast at gmail.com. Send us phishing. Send us scams. Send us anything you want.
Oh, you never posted the 30-minute episode, huh? You never edited and like published it?
Oh,
on YouTube, yeah.
Whoops. Well, I didn't put the description.
Yeah. Well, and changed the name because I didn't know what episode, what number we were on. Like it was such a long time that it took you to edit. I was like, "Huh? What episode is it?"
I literally typed in, "I forgot the title." I forgot the title.
I just put BTF episode 30 something.
Yeah. So I forgot the title. Invest Till Friday is today's title. At least we know that one because it's actually going to be about investments. So
yeah,
guys, remember, invest in Bitcoin. If you invest $30 billion right now in Bitcoin, you'll have $10 billion tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the one thing about like investments. Like it heavily rewards the people that already have money, and it only kind of helps the people that don't at best. Like
because the thing is also, you don't exactly have $5,000 to just throw at the stock market, you know?
Yeah.
So it's obviously going to be more difficult to get gains because, let's say, a 2% gain on $5,000, that's literally like fucking $100, and that's after like let's say 1 year. Wow, I made $100 after waiting 1 year on $5,000 that I started with. At that point, it's easier to just work minimum wage, right? Even though minimum wage sucks. But I mean, that's besides the point. Point is, you got to start with like $10,000, $20,000 that you can freely throw away. So it's not like, well, I just saved up $10,000, and if I invest it all, I'll have $100 in the bank account. Like that's not what you want to do, obviously, because then what happens if your $10,000 turn into $2,000? then you're gonna be like, I'm gonna pull it out of the market. But it's like, well, at that point, you just lost $8,000 for no reason.
Well, yeah,
But
but
when you
for like
invest
poor
into this-
people, for
No,
poor
no,
people,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. That's not how you're supposed to use the stock market. You're supposed to. It's an incentive for poor people to use it as like a gambling station.
Well, yeah, because
Poor people-
stocks are literally just gambling because it's all about speculation.
Yeah.
It's all about perceived value. Because whenever, let's say, Facebook or someone says the N word, boom, the value goes down. Even though let's say the intrinsic value, the value it actually gives, doesn't go down. The way people perceive it goes down.
Well,
So then-
the stock market has
lose
no
much.
no intrinsic value. Its entire
Well,
worth
no.
is based upon people's opinions of the company because
It's
they're
not-
the
not
worth of
really,
the
because
company.
the only reason companies issue stock in the first place is to get capital, to get cash, so that they can function. So it's
Yeah,
not
But the
completely
reason,
worthless.
it is completely worthless because the reason people give that money in the first place is because there's a perception that they'll make more in return.
Well, yeah, that's what investing.
And
is.
if so,
So,
yeah,
like,
Yeah,
not-
but
you can't
that's
say
why,
investing
like-
is useless.
no, but like its intrinsic value is zero because the second one of them says the N word, the people immediately assume that that company is no longer going to be as profitable, which means they're going to take their money out of that stock. Their intrinsic worth has been affected by the fact that someone has said the N word. Because now they are no longer public, they don't have a good public image, which means their revenue will decrease. Because the way a company makes money, especially big companies like this, is highly contingent upon their public appearance. That's why they spend so much money on PR. So the intrinsic value of their stock is affected by someone saying the N word. It's not just
Well,
like,
remember-
oh,
But it's not completely worthless. That's the point I'm trying to say. Because you said it's like, oh, it's not worth anything. But obviously, the stock market is worth something because it's building up the company, which then builds up the stock market, and it's like it goes hand in hand. Because if you didn't have investors putting money into Facebook in the first place, it would have just gone away.
yeah.
But because they put money into Facebook, Facebook started making more money. It had enough money to expand. So that money is then, of course, returned after the users, the advertisers, and everything that's being put into the company is then put back into the stock market through return on investments like the dividends paid out and everything like that.
Well, I don't think Facebook pays dividends.
Bruh, it literally says.
Does it?
Of
Because
course, dude, if-
some companies don't pay dividends. Like there's different types of stock.
Oh, you're right. Facebook does not offer a dividend right now.
Yeah.
Huh.
I told you, it not all stocks, not all companies give out dividends. That's a very specific type of thing. Some companies even offer stocks that like they'll pay you dividends, but you relinquish your right to say anything in the company, which is better for people that aren't like investing millions of dollars. They'll get a little bit and like that, and there's just it's a whole other thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
That's why it depends like what like that's also what affects it. Like that's what I mean. Like the amount of variety of stocks and like just all of that, the intrinsic value of a stock, like without the opinion of people, if that's what you want to imply by intrinsic stock value, is zero because the entire worth of the stock is built upon the perception of people. Like without the opinion of people, the stock has no value because its value, its regular value, like the reason it's worth anything is because of the opinion people have of it. But its value aside from like, an opinion someone has of it is essentially zero. Because it just existing, it doesn't make any money. That's why it took so long for Facebook to get that capital in the first place. It took years for it to develop any sort of public perception so that it could get to the point where it is now.
Well,
because
that's any company really, because it's like saying,
Well, yeah,
Okay.
but like also like a
Like
company not just doing that has the value of the whole basically the whole way a company operates, which is just buying, selling, blah 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 blah, that whole thing. But their stock aspect is 100% reliant on the fact that of the opinion people have of it. Like for example, like In-N-Out doesn't have a stock. It's privately owned. It's still family owned. So it doesn't really derive value from public opinion. Like its main source of thing is just serving the hamburgers. It doesn't really need that capital or that high public opinion. It has value aside from the public opinion. But a company that relies heavily on stock, like say Facebook, because it's basically just a data mining operation, its entire value is basically as a company is derived from that. Because the intrinsic value of a stock is different from the intrinsic value of a company. It's an aspect of the company, and it just depends how much their worth is reliant upon their stock. That depends how much value that company has, aside from public opinion.
And then Walter goes, I like cheese. Yeah, well, one thing, it's better to get, let's say, you said like poor people gambling in the stock market.
Yeah.
It's better, let's say if you have a decent amount of money, let's say a couple thousand that you can toss into the stock market, it's better to invest into dividend paying stocks, because obviously since you're a beginner, you're not going to have that much capital in the first place. You're not going to have that much money in the first place. So if you invest in a dividend stock that gives you a stock, let's say like General Motors, right? It pays a dividend of $1.52 per share annually, broken up into quarterly installments of 38 cents. So if you own General Motors stock, you can expect to receive a cash payment of 38 cents every 3 months for each share that you own. So if you own, obviously, let's say you own 100 shares, then you're making $38 every 3 months for each share, right? So as you accumulate more and more shares, you'll get more money every few months. So if you invest into, like, let's say General Motors has a really great year. Let's say next year they have a really great year, so they bump it up, and then you get more installments every 3 months. The value just keeps going up, because obviously General Motors isn't going to go out of business anytime soon. It's a huge car company. Well, then again, a bunch of people thought that about a bunch of different companies. Like, remember when the banks loaned out a bunch of money in 2008?
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, hey, I'm going to afford this $5 million house on minimum wage. And they're like, sure, we'll give you a loan right here. And then people just couldn't pay for them. So
yeah. But also, like, the another aspect of that is that they were, not only were they giving out loans that people couldn't pay back, but they, like, it was basically like how the college loans have been set up for forever, where it's like you pay off the interest, but the interest you pay off and the amount of money that goes into the actual loan, it's basically, you'll never be able to pay it off. Like the interest that you'll accumulate will automatically negate the amount that you put in.
Yeah.
Or that you can reasonably put in, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So dividend stocks are great for beginners because it's consistent since you're getting the payment. Make sure you check to see that the company has a long history of paying dividends.
Yeah.
Because like what just happened earlier right now, when I thought Facebook pays dividends, right? Invest in the Facebook stock. And everyone's like, no. I Google it. No. So remember, do your research if you're going to actually buy stocks and stuff like that. Yeah. And of course, like I said, it's going to be sustainable because it's going to be a reliable company that you want to invest in. Again, low volatility. That basically means that you don't want it to be super volatile. Like, hey, my stock is worth $100 today. Oh, it's worth $200. Oh, it's worth $50. It's going to be something that's going to be nice and average. It's not going to be Bitcoin, basically.
Yeah. But that also, oh yeah.
Warren Buffett said if you choose right, you'll never have to sell your stock, right? So you buy a stock that will always do good, right? He's owned I think it was General Motors, but he owned it for 30 plus years, 50 years. So he's never sold it. It's only just accumulated interest, and paid him back. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, that that's why dividends are always good. He probably had a big portion of dividend stock in General Motors, but didn't he also have a bunch of regular stock in General Motors, which means he had a say in how the company operates?
Yeah, because remember, he owns millions of stocks.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a majority shareholder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he owns 151 million stocks of American Express. That's 18% of the company.
Yeah.
So I mean, he has a lot of fuck you money to just throw around in the first place. But obviously, because number one, he's super old, so he was there at the beginning of basically everything. So he probably, once Apple went from 50 cents to like $10, he was like, boom, invest. It's technology. Technology's the future.
Yeah.
We're too young for that. We couldn't have, even if we wanted to, we wouldn't have been able to, you know?
Right.
So that's, I mean,
Yeah.
of course.
We're lucky for like apps like Robinhood that like allow the young people to invest, to allow people to learn at
Actually.
least how to do this stuff, you know? So you don't think Robinhood's a good
is
idea.
not that best anymore. It is not the best anymore.
Right. But
Um,
it is the start. It is the linchpin that, you know, allowed for apps like this to develop. You know, there was a MySpace before Facebook. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
You
so
mean there was a
Acorns-
Friendster before a MySpace?
Exactly. The predecessor. There's always like something to build on. You know what I mean? Make to improve. So
Mhm.
I think Robinhood was a great startup app.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Fee-free trading. Nice.
E-Trade, right? That's the one that you use, Andres?
I don't use any of them. It says here Acorns is the best one for worry-free savings. It's the most popular
Right.
because of how easy it is to use. You link a debit or credit card to the account,
Right.
and Acorns will round up on the total purchase to the next dollar and invest
Right.
that difference into one of the few portfolios.
Mhm.
So basically, for $1 a month, every time you spend, let's say you spend 70 cents, it invests the other 30 cents into a stock automatically. Imagine if you could do that. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Automatic savings while you're spending without worrying about it. So obviously, if you're spending like, okay, you go out and buy something that's $10.99, 1 cent invested automatically. So it's always going to round it up. And that way, you're never spending like $300 in the stock and going, oh my god, I hope I make a lot of money. You know,
Yeah.
it's basically as you buy, as you're already purchasing stuff. Plus, on top of that, if you're doing it with a credit card, you're going to get, let's say, 1% cash back on your credit card purchases as well. So if you spend 99 cents, you're getting 1 cent invested and 1 cent from the credit card. So you basically got a free cent. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as
Yeah.
long as you treat your credit card as a debit card and you're like, I have $300 in cash, I have a $1,000 credit limit, but I'm only going to spend $300 because I don't have any more cash than that. That way you don't accumulate any interest.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's the whole point that you wanted to talk about, right, Walter? That's why I was trying to explain to you, and you're like, wait, let's do a whole episode on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So based,
Well, a big flaw that people have, like, is thinking that that debt is bad. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Yeah.
What the way the market works is that the amount of debt is equal to the amount of like income. You know what I mean? So the only way things work is that if there's a debt that we have to pay back and the interest, like that's the only way the economy works. Literally.
yeah, but remember, it's certain kinds of debt because credit card debt is bad because of the high interest rates.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
buy a mortgage is perfectly fine debt because you can write off the interest expense on your taxes. You can write off the mortgage and the depreciation of the house and all that kind of stuff. That's more complicated, obviously. But if you take, you have a mortgage, take it to your tax guy, they'll figure out what to do with it, basically. Because remember,
Mhm.
if you buy a $1 million house today, $1 million today is worth more than $1 million in 30 years. So if you break up the payments and you're paying, let's say you're just paying random number, $1,500 a month. The $1,500 a month that you pay today is going to be the exact same $1,500 that you're paying in 20 years, but the $1,500 in those 20 years is worth a lot less. So you end up paying less, even though the number stays the same because of inflation and
Do you remember
interest.
repeating that? Kind of zipped out.
Wait, did I cut out or did you?
No,
Do
it
now.
cut out. No, the recording.
Oh.
Oh, okay, whoops. Can you hear me out? All right. So basically, 1,500 is your mortgage payment, right? You're going to be paying your mortgage for 30 years.
Yeah.
Because that's the most common one. So if you pay 1,500 today, those 1,500 that you pay in 20 years, it's going to be worth less than the $1,500 today because of
Right.
inflation and how those things work. That's why prices rise just naturally. You know how people always are like, I remember when a can of Coke was 25 cents.
Yeah.
Right.
inflation free, right?
Right.
Can of Coke is like $1
The
now.
problem is them not paying us the same amount, the equal to the inflation.
Exactly. Not only to inflation, but to worker productivity. Workers are 4 times as much productive as they were in the 1950s. I literally just wrote a paper on this. In the 1950s, if
Mhm.
wages had kept up with worker productivity, the
Right.
minimum wage, guess how much the minimum wage would be?
Like,
About 30 something.
$26.
wow.
$26. That's not just accounting for inflation. That's accounting for worker productivity. So the
Mhm.
amount of money that a one worker can produce, let's say for multi-billion-dollar companies, would be enough for the companies to pay them $26. But remember, most of the time nowadays, companies are just giving the money to investors and stuff like that while
Yeah.
cutting jobs. It's like, hey, we're gonna cut 10,000 jobs in the Michigan plant. We're gonna outsource them over to China, to Indonesia, anywhere where we can pay them a cent for every dollar that we spend. And our investors are going to get $1 million bonus because our productivity went up because we were able to hire 20,000 people. So we actually created 20,000 jobs, guys, in Indonesia. So
Yeah.
that's a whole different issue with capitalism and capitalist greed. I know
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to how to fix it, but I saw that someone posted a meme the other day where it's like, we should make it so that no one becomes a billionaire. Everyone who gets $9,999 million gets a little plaque, and then every dollar after that is just automatically given like tax or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or funded for
Right.
schools, etc. But
Yeah.
the only problem with that is billionaires have their money invested in properties. They don't
Right.
usually have it like cash,
They
obviously.
have it spread out.
Well,
Yeah.
part of the reason that they have it like that is to like prevent like taxes and other stuff.
Right.
Well, of course, obviously.
Well, that's still their wealth. You know what I mean? That it's still,
Yeah, it's still taxable.
Jeff,
still
Jeff
taxable,
Bezos,
yeah.
Jeff Bezos is worth over $1 trillion, right? Him and his
Right.
company are worth over $1 trillion, but that doesn't mean he has $1 trillion sitting in the bank.
Yeah.
Obviously,
He doesn't have just a giant pot of gold like fucking Scrooge
He's
McDuck.
not Scrooge McDuck. Yeah, because that's too inefficient. Because once you reach that level of money, you don't want it just sitting around. Because okay, let's say it's sitting in a bank account, it's making 1% each month. 1% a year. Yeah, 1% of 1 billion is still $1 million, but still, you would rather invest it into the stock market, invest it into your company, where you can make fucking 20% back in a week because
Yeah.
of simply the amount of money that you have.
Yeah, you wouldn't put your whole billion in there. You'd put like maybe like $1 million to keep it for safety,
Mhm.
and then you'd be earning 1% on $1 million, which is still a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
But
Obviously, I don't realistically. I don't think anyone needs over $100 million in
No.
their whole lifetime, unless you're literally buying yachts and stuff like that. Because no one in their right mind, living even extravagantly, is gonna spend that much.
yeah, like I remember like a while back, like a couple of years ago, like there was like a meme between all of us, like all of us in our group, where it's like, oh, try to spend $1 billion. Like it'd be literally impossible to spend $1 billion, like even if you're spending like a whole fuck ton of money every day. Like you'd literally have to be like sending rocket ships, jizzing
Yeah.
fucking confetti all the way up to space and back.
Powered by champagne.
Yeah.
The only way to like spend $1 billion a day is to write a check for $1 billion to somebody. Like literally, that's the only way.
Well, I mean, not the only way, because obviously, let's say, unless you're literally buying buildings and land, and,
Right.
like
But think
paying
about it. It takes
people.
time to like travel and like for
Exactly.
documents to get through, so you couldn't even spend it. Like it literally takes time.
Exactly.
So,
So,
Yeah.
so no. But yeah. What you say?
basically, back to the original point. Some debt is good. Credit card
Right.
debt is never good. So that's the one
Yeah.
thing. If you take one thing away from this, credit card debt is never good because of the amount of interest that the interest rate that they charge on credit cards. Because it's
What
not
is it
like
usually? What's the average?
not like 10%, it's like 20% or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
It's fucking horrible.
it's a dangerous amount.
The
Yeah.
average credit card interest rate is 19%.
Wow.
So that means if you owe $100, you're gonna owe 119 for
Right.
next month, which
Mhm.
is actually a shit ton of money if you don't have those $100 in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like obviously if you get that interest, it implies that you didn't have the money to pay for those $100.
In the first place.
Yeah.
19%. That's a lot.
That's
Yeah,
a
and
lot.
especially, let's say you have $1,000 credit limit and you max out your credit, you're gonna have to pay $1,190. So, it just keeps piling on. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The
Because-
average credit card debt is like 11,200.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
open up a credit card, and the thing is,
Yep.
credit card companies know this. That
Yeah.
they know people want to open up a bunch of credit cards, which is why they're like, "Hey, you have a bad credit score? Open up one with us, and we'll help you work on it." But then you open it up, they give you $5,000 credit limit, and then
Mhm.
you start spending.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't address the
Remember
root
Michael?
issue.
Remember Michael? They're like, oh, okay, well, if you spend the $500 credit limit, we'll give you back $500, right? So he spent the $500 credit limit, and then he got the $500. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Remember, it was like a Chase card. It was like,
Oh,
he was the
yeah.
first one of us
He-
to
he-
get a credit card.
Oh,
He-
because
he-
I remember it's like if you spend $500 within the first 3 months, you get like $100 back or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But Michael
Yeah.
did it like right away.
Yeah,
Like a TV and like all this shit.
A TV?
never.
Five?
never
What the
500
fuck?
bucks.
No, he bought a TV, like a couch, like a little like pull-out couch. You know what I mean? He bought,
But
all
like a
this shit.
TV in and of itself, like unless he's getting like one of the cheap ones, I guess.
I mean,
Right.
TVs are pretty cheap nowadays.
Nowadays,
you can get a
nowadays.
4K
Yeah, but
TV
this
for
this
$300.
isn't now. This was like 3 years ago or 4 years
This is,
ago.
like,
They weren't
this
that
is
cheap yet.
6 years ago, bro. This is like when we were in like
High school.
Boy Scouts, literally like 18, 17, 18.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when we just turned 18. So you
Yeah.
mean 5 years ago. Oh my god.
Yeah, TVs weren't that cheap back then. Like they weren't like you can't go to Walmart and get a TLC flat screen for like 150
Right.
bucks.
Yeah, hell no. I
Like
remember back in the day, it would be like $1,000 for like a 400 like a 40-inch TV. Like it used to be a lot of
yo,
money.
I remember like the kid that used to live around here with us. Like they bought a TV and he was like, "Yeah, it was like $2,500." I'm like, $2,500 for a goddamn TV?
Dude,
Damn.
a smart
Bruh.
TV that was a 50-inch 1080p smart TV in May 2015 cost $1,000.
Yeah.
Holy
Bruh. $1,000.
A
Fuck.
49-inch 4K TV was $1,599. You can get those for $300 now, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like what the fuck?
Now you think about like the 60s where they have like no color. It's like 10 by 10. Like it's like damn.
The 4:10 aspect ratio, like bruh.
Yeah. A television was $300 in 1960.
Wow. And there was shit.
Yeah. literally.
$300. That's like what? That's like 700 now.
Nowadays, it would be the buying power would be. Why is it showing? What the hell? Oh, sorry. 300 in 1960. It would be what? Oh, whoops! I put 1860.
Ooh.
So many thousands of dollars.
Well, yeah.
2,300. Sorry, 2,600.
2,600. That's more than I thought. I thought it was be like thought it was like between 7 or 1,200. But yeah.
I was watching I Love Lucy the other day, and that one's set in the 50s,
Mhm.
and she's like $75 for 3 rooms full of furniture. So I mean, it kind of
Oh
makes
yeah.
sense.
$75 for what the
Mhm.
fuck?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Crazy as fuck.
$75 in 1960 is basically worth $700. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Purchasing power, dude. Purchasing power.
Yeah.
I mean, when bread is a nickel, that's the least of your worries.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, right now you could go to Mexico and get like a whole like.
I mean, you can't go right now.
Kitchen set, like yeah, well you could. Like they let people pass for essential stuff. You can get a
Oh.
whole cabinet set like for the kitchen for like $350, like a brand new like,
that's
nice. one.
that's only because of how much the dollar is worth in Mexico.
Yeah,
It's
that's
basically
fine. Shit, I'm going to Mexico.
20 times as much as their money.
Wait, American money?
Yeah, so dollar to.
But then the real question is, how much of that would you be able to bring back into the States? Because I know my dad went over there for some pomadas and some other shit, and they confiscated everything at the border. They were like, nope, you can't take any of this.
Wait, what was he buying?
Pomadas, like balsamo and like other stuff.
What is that?
It's just like rubbing powder.
English.
I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah, that seems suspicious as fuck. That's pretty.
Not powder. It's like the cream that they sell here at stores.
Yeah.
But it's not because it's like suspicious. They were like, no, it's because people sell this on the other side, so you can't take it from
can't
here.
Bring over foreign like drugs like that. Like
No,
foreign-
they're not drugs, dude. They have no active
Yeah, I know.
ingredients.
I know, but you can't bring over stuff like that because they charge differently in different countries.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
but like,
ointment.
yeah, ointment.
It's basically like medicine or whatever.
Yeah, but it has no
They still
active
didn't do that,
ingredients.
right?
It's like,
They still didn't let him pass with it though, right?
yeah. And it's just like the dude was like, yeah, stuff that you could buy on this side, we're not really likely to let you pass by it in private.
It's a lot harder to pass over medicine and food than it is to pass over a cabinet. 'Cause
Yeah.
obviously,
Right.
if, let's say you have your truck and you have like 5 cabinets that you're gonna put in your kitchen, and they're like, "What's
Right.
all this?" You're like, "Just bought some new cabinets for my kitchen."
Right.
But if you're in a huge truck with pallets of cabinets,
right.
and of
That seems
course, cabinets in my kitchens, like
No.
right.
Right.
'cause-
Right.
Yeah, because back when we passed, like when we passed through like Tijuana and stuff like that, back then, we would bring food and stuff like that, but it was only ever like a family's worth of food. It wasn't
Right.
like
Like snacks
like
and stuff.
yeah, we got some moles, we got a little pallet of Coca-Cola,
Coca. Cocaine.
So
Andres almost incriminated his whole family right now.
we have a pallet of soda, of sody pop.
Sody, a pop medicine. I mean, a pop.
Exactly. A pallet of soda, like some beans, rice,
Some 1820s Coca-Cola.
exactly. But it was never more than it would be a reasonable amount for a family to bring. You know?
Right.
They shine the light back there. They're like, "What you got back there? Food?" Because we went shopping, you know.
Food, 30 immigrants, you know,
And, yeah,
the normal
and we
stuff.
bought- Exactly, it's just normal stuff. But it was never obviously fresh vegetables, nothing like that. I mean, I think a few times we brought like cheese and stuff like that. Most of the time we would bring cheese, but you wouldn't declare it because like you're not supposed to or whatever. So that's besides the point, right? We really
Right,
like
right,
Mexican food. It's really good.
Yeah, you don't declare. You just hide it under the seat, and that's it.
Exactly. You
Right.
can't bring anything with seeds or anything like
Right.
that because
Yeah.
of pollination and invasive species. So we can never bring like tamarindo or anything. But if I had my little bag of tamarindo, they're not gonna search me for it because I was a little kid. So it's whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what your parents do is they just hide it in your pants and just wait till they pass.
Yeah, but we never brought over, to my knowledge, we never brought over like a bunch of medicine or a bunch of bulk food. It was always just like soap, the tortas that we bought that day, some soda, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like it was never a ton of stuff. And I feel like we might have bought some medicine, but if they did, they never had it out on display or anything. You know, it was like
Right.
one thing of Pepto-Bismol or one thing of
Yeah.
aspirin or whatever.
No, yeah, but that's why like it was just one canister of like one personal use pomada.
The good shit.
Come on.
No.
Keep it in your glove compartment.
They like he went on the bus, dude, and they literally searched everyone for that kind of shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I feel like that one might be 'cause the bus adds a completely different layer now. Because the bus is no longer I'm a citizen, I'm a private citizen. You see my California plates, and I'm
Right.
coming through. It's like anyone on this bus could be an illegal immigrant. These papers could be fake. There's nothing here.
No, because they had to buy the ticket here in the States.
no,
And they had to show their immigration papers and everything. It's not like an extra layer. If anything, private vehicles like that are more likely to bring in immigrants.
Well, a 4-door coupe that's like small and let's say, and you have groceries in there, is not as suspicious as a whole bus where everyone might be a suspect. Because remember, I do think the bus adds a whole different layer to it because it's not just you and your family. You
Oh
know?
no, don't get me wrong. It does add it because it's public transportation, but there's more security on a bus than on a fucking 4-door sedan.
I mean, personally, no, because if you, let's say you're a family of 4 on the bus, you might all get searched, frisked, separated. You don't know. If you're a family of 4 in a car, you're gonna stay together the entire ride. They're gonna be like, "Oh, it's just you and your family." And they're like, "Yeah, we just came here to buy some stuff." All right, there you go. Keep
No,
going.
yeah, but that's why, like, how do I explain this? Like the people at the border don't know you're a family of 4. You could randomly bringing in another person from over there because there's no pre-security checks. Like
Well, I mean,
to get in, you could just get in your car and drive over.
Yeah.
and then you could bring someone back. Like
you're driving out,
when you're going on the
your
bus,
passport,
when
everything.
yeah, but when you go on the bus, like that shit is checked before you even hop onto the bus, and they have an no, they check everything, and they have a record of how many passengers they take. So if they have more passengers coming back than they did going over there, like okay, someone clearly isn't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
When you're going over there in a car, they don't have that like, oh, 3 people left here, like in this car, 4 people are coming back.
You have to provide the documentation for the 4 people regardless.
Yeah,
When you
but you do that. You have to do that for the bus as well.
No, I know that, but I'm saying
Like, there's not much difference in like actual amount of like security when you're talking about actually crossing. The only difference is that like for the bus, they have, before you even get close to the border, they already have that information because the travel agency passes it along.
But I would understand from a Border Patrol agent's perspective, trying to frisk more people on a bus than say in a family car. That's the point I was trying to make. I formed my thought finally formed. My brain is on. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I understand. If they're a Border Patrol agent, they have another layer of suspicion. There we go, another layer of suspicion when it's in a bus. Like, why are you carrying medicine in a bus? You know, what could be here? We don't know. But if you're in a car and they're like, I'm here with my family, we got some food, and they're like, okay, everything checks out. You got your passports. All right, go.
They did that with glue too, though.
Well, I mean, you can sniff glue, so.
Yeah.
But it's not as invasive also when you're in a car, unless you're either looking really suspicious or, you know, the dog sniffs something. But a dog's not going to sniff, let's say, pomada that's sitting in your glove compartment, or even, let's say, it's sitting by your feet because you open up the glove compartment, take out the passports and give it to them. They're like, okay, they're looking through. Okay, you're good to go.
Actually, one time on my way back from Mexico, we did get pulled off into the side, and we got like even searched even worse. Like, we hadn't bought anything, we didn't bring anything back, but it was just me and my dad, and we got like how do you call it?
You look nothing like your dad. You're like, he's like, "What are you kidnapping this little Greek Persian kid?" You're like, Padre,
Padre,
what are these men doing to you, Father? And they're like, yeah,
Father.
Vehicle real quick.
Yeah, no, like they opened up our trunk, they like ran like shit under the car.
I understand.
Yeah. That shit was weird though. Like at the time I can remember just being mad because like this whole thing meant that I was gonna be late to watch my show. Like, I just remember at the time being so mad.
You can get global entry from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, so it's basically it's basically like a TSA pre-check for the border.
Yeah.
And it has a whole separate line, but the process takes a little while, you know? So you take your passport, you take a bunch of, your U.S. permanent resident card, you get your fingerprints done and everything. And after that process, they give you a little pass, and you can just zoom through the line. So, like, let's say you're going down to San Diego, and you're like, I don't want to be stuck in the line for 5 hours. You can just do it's like a 1 hour, hour and a half process that you do, and then you can zip through the line. It's basically the fast pass.
Yeah. Fast
pass. A
pass.
little bit of time to not spend as much time waiting.
United States fast pass.
Yeah, because it's the global entry. It's for like trusted traveler, all that kind of stuff, and it's a lot more official. So that way, not just anyone can get it. That's the thing. Not just anyone can get it. That's what makes it so much faster.
What do you mean? Anyone can get it. Everyone just go inundate the website.
Honestly. No, yeah. Operation suspended until at least June 1st, 2020.
Yep.
Well, I wonder what the Tijuana border looks like right now. I feel like the border is a lot more packed simply because of all the people trying to get in and out to get like supplies and stuff, you know?
Maybe. But like if they shut down...
Packed, dude. It's literally packed. I'm looking at the live traffic feed, and it's like blood red all the way down.
Shit, yo.
Yeah. There's so much fucking traffic in Tijuana right now.
This is Los Angeles, so most of it's Mexican. So they're trying to get down there.
Yeah. Downtown Tijuana is packed. I mean, I'm assuming they have face masks, but I could be wrong because they might.
Right now, while states are opening up, like there's a huge spike in fucking cases of COVID.
Right.
Like,
There's a lot of like wrongful like deaths. You know, like they're just reporting like, oh, this guy had a heart attack and died. You know, oh, it's COVID. Like they're doing that to a lot of people. So I feel like they're doing that on purpose just to like have a reason to have everything closed. You know what I mean?
I mean, remember,
I personally know
are
somebody
getting
that they
that
just did that to. So I don't know.
oh,
I literally just happened to me.
they're also doing that though because they're trying to avoid the insurance expenses and stuff like that. Because oh no, I think it was like insurance was really expensive or just not paying out to COVID people. I'm not too sure. This is off the top of my head. I don't even fucking remember, but it's gonna turn into another COVID episode.
yeah.
But
Well, COVID is everywhere. Fuck.
We're in the COVID age, dude.
it's real.
It's affecting
real.
every
Dude, my dad doesn't think that my dad doesn't think it's real.
Bruh. Dude,
Like,
I would like
he-
to talk to Alan's friend. Alan's friend's name is Matthew, and he had it. I would love for you guys
Dude,
to talk to him.
my uncle had it. My uncle had it, and they sent images to my mom. Like, dude, this is how he looks like. And my dad's still like, no, it doesn't exist. They probably faked those. Are you sure that's him? I don't think that's him. It's like, what the fuck?
What? That's crazy.
Dude,
was a
he's
fight.
planning on selling lamps up north, like right now. Like that's how little he believes in all of this. It's like so fucking
You go to
stupid.
Texas, where places are opening up again.
Dude.
There was a bodybuilder before and after COVID, and it was crazy.
Dude. Like it's so bad. Oof.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Are you gonna send it in the Discord?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the. It was on Reddit with just a side by side. There it is. Oh, it was a nurse. Holy mo! The bearded nurse. Look at that shit, dude. Look at that. He was healthy. Healthier than most of us. Working out, a six-pack, everything.
Right.
And he was for 6 weeks on a ventilator,
Oh, shit.
intubated.
Wow.
Holy shit. He's been away from his family for over 8 weeks.
Mm.
Look at that.
Well,
Look
I
at
think
that
there's like a thing that's like, well, people that actually do exercise and like take care of their health, like once they do get sick, they get fucked over.
Yeah, because
Because-
the thing is, it makes you have an overactive immune system. So if you have a really
Right.
healthy immune system, like it kind of sucks
Right.
because your immune
Yeah.
system is really healthy, so it starts attacking itself, and then it's overactive. I'm not
Right.
saying if you have a shitty immune system, you'll survive immediately.
Right.
No.
They won't probably like it will fuck you up, but it won't fuck you up this bad. Like it won't make you lose 50 pounds. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's insane, dude. He lost so much fucking weight, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Working.
Yeah.
That's too much, to be honest. That's little.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He wasn't hitting the gym. He was being a bitch. No, it's good.
He could beat COVID with a few punches. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but
I guess that's how police officers are trying to fight it. Just like how they fight their
Honestly.
wives.
dude, first responders have the highest incidence of domestic violence of any other job. Isn't that crazy?
First responders.
Yeah, like firefighters, cops.
I thought it was just cops.
It's because they have really like their mental's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
They see that shit all the time.
It's a very high pressure, intense job. But can
Right.
you imagine being at work for 16 hours, coming home, and your wife is like, "I made soup for dinner." Soup's not a fucking meal.
Oof. Jesus.
Mm.
Alan should be a cop.
Alan's cracking up. Alan should be a cop. Walter said. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, just come home from a long day at work, beat your wife. It's the 50s again. Remember? Every time some girl says, "I wish it was the 50s again," you're like, "Well, you can't vote. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. You can't say anything. And you know what? If I murdered you, I could move over to the next town over, and no one would care." Yeah, marital rape is legal. Jesus,
Oh my god.
I know it's crazy, dude. It really is.
No rights.
So
Literally.
basically, guys, remember, get a mortgage.
Yeah.
That's the entire point.
Get a mortgage and don't hit your wife.
Yeah.
Jesus
Get a
Christ.
mortgage, don't hit the wife.
20 minutes.
No, yeah, it's
We
police
can't-
officers. It's not just first responders. It's police officers with the highest rate of domestic violence.
Right. And after that, it's the gays. It is. Like, they have, like, a high, like, they just fight each other all the time. Like, because nobody's
Honestly.
going to say something when two dudes are fighting. You know what I mean? There's like, oh, they're just figuring shit out.
Oh, speaking of fighting, even though no actually fighting happened, so there was a car. Someone moved a car to block our driveway.
Wait. They moved a car to block your driveway?
Yeah.
Like,
Did you have it
okay,
towed?
explain.
Okay, so basically, there's this dude, right? That we don't really know him. He like lives somewhere else around here on this block, and he couldn't find parking late at night. Like, and we know it's late at night because the car wasn't parked there in the red. Like, I think like at like 1 a.m. when we came back from work. So he had to get there after that. And even at 2 when I took out the trash, it wasn't there yet. So it had to be like around 3 or 4 when he got home. So he just parked in like the red spot that's right here, right outside our house.
Right.
And someone else here, like not them, someone else here pushed the car to block our driveway from the red zone.
Pushed it?
Yeah, they pushed it to move it. Like they moved it to block the driveway.
I don't think that's possible, dude.
Yeah.
That's not possible. The
'Cause-
brakes
Did
on.
they just park there? I feel like they just parked.
No, they didn't just park there because like it wasn't, the car wasn't positioned in a way where it would be parked, and the dude had no clue that his car was blocking a driveway.
Oh, well, he's probably just high, dude. Like,
Yeah, that's it. But like it wasn't moved like it wasn't really possible to park it in the way that like if as long as like he wasn't like obscenely like drunk or high, like
Right.
there was no real way for him to park it in that sort of, in the position that it was. It had to have been like moved.
Think about it like this: if it makes no fucking sense, it's drugs. Like, if it makes no fucking sense,
Yeah.
it's drugs. Like,
Cause also like, cause like we also think that it was purposefully moved there. Cause like we've had like like basically like the tires in our parking lot have been getting like popped on purpose.
What the fuck?
'Cause,
You
like,
guys gotta put cameras there, dude.
To
Yeah.
us, it's happened twice, and to our tenants, like it's happened to each one of them at least once.
bro, that shit's been happening to me too.
Like it's fucking stupid.
Dude, every time I drive through Southgate, I get a fucking nail in my tire.
Oh god.
It hasn't happened in a while. No, when I drove through Bell, it happened literally 3 times in 2 weeks.
Bro, me too. Like, in a
guy-
month.
Yeah.
I showed up to
Bruh.
the tire place, and the guy was like, again, and I was like, dude, I know.
Dude,
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
me too. Me fucking too last month, bro. Bro, I spent like $70 on fucking nails in my tire, dude.
Yeah, for me it was $30 each time. Yeah, it was like $90 total, dude. It was
Bro,
crazy.
what the fuck?
Why don't you just go to Alameda? There's like places that do it for like 15.
Yeah, $15.
Well, it's right down the street, so I'm not gonna roll my rim
Oh my
all the way
God.
over there.
That's true,
Alameda.
that's true.
Come on,
Yeah, true.
You in
Yeah,
that
go down the
rich
street.
neighborhood.
$30. Rich neighborhood. Dude, they reopened the pool, and it says social distance and no fuck, what was it? No guests.
No
and I'm
gas.
like, retards. COVID travels through the water.
Like what?
They opened the pool. It says no guests in the pool, and it says social distance. Yeah, like
As-
social distancing is gonna stop you from getting pool water up your nose with COVID.
As long as you don't go to the thing, because then we'll have to restructure this podcast, and that's too much work.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm
Did they-
literally not like.
Did they
Obviously, I'm not
ask
gonna
you
go.
to report if you had it?
No, they haven't said anything about it. Isn't that crazy?
Mm. I would think that would be a thing, right? Well, maybe they just don't want to scare you guys. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like they're doing this for a reason. Like, oh shit, somebody has it. You know?
Yeah, they're doing it because they want more money for the pool.
Yeah, that's fucked. Though. That's fucked.
Yeah.
So we could go over,
Oh,
right? And get in the pool.
Wait. I'm fact checking myself from the Center of Disease Control. Our government scientists, because the government's not very science wise.
Yeah.
Trump being a retard. Okay, point is,
Fucking dilated eyes, motherfucker.
there is no evidence that the virus that causes COVID-19 can be spread to people through the water in pools, hot tubs, or water playgrounds. Additionally,
Right.
proper operation of these aquatic venues and disinfection of the water with chlorine or bromine should activate the virus. So,
you're
while
good.
there is ongoing community spread of the virus, it is important for individuals, as well as operators of public pools, hot tubs, playgrounds, to take steps to ensure health and safety. So, as long as you stay 6 feet away from people you don't live with, wear cloth face covers when not in the water. So, I guess, I mean, let's say one family per day uses it or something. I guess that's fine, because
That's
there was
fine.
only one family using it yesterday. It was like a lady and her kids.
Right.
Understandable. So I'm assuming that's probably how it's gonna be. Like people are gonna go, yeah, like just one
There
family
should
uses
be,
it.
yeah, it should be like a schedule. There should be like a scheduling thing.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should present that idea to your landlord.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
was funny when they first put up the sign. It literally said pool open, social distance, and then like the next day it said pool open, social distance, no guests. So I
Wow.
guess that makes sense. Yeah, no guests.
No gets. Oh, people who come visit you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, obviously, if you're inside your own house and you go to work, you know who you've been in contact with. But if you
Right.
bring in a guest, they bring in a guest, they bring their uncle, their aunt, whoever, who they've been with. You don't know if they watch.
Yeah.
your
Now
hands,
it's like the
etc.
public.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Close contact is defined
Yeah.
as being within 6 feet, and you can be asymptomatic without even
Without knowing it.
14 days.
Oh, so
Sorry, you-
speaking of this, a
you
couple of
the
days
virus?
ago, I had a concussion.
What?
I had a small concussion.
What
How?
happened?
Mild. I don't know. I got hit in the head and I didn't realize it. Like it didn't register with me until like I was like selling lamps and like I couldn't stand up.
Someone robbed you? Oh my
Like
God.
like I had gotten hit in the head earlier in the day and I just didn't register. I drove home. I fucking did all this shit. Like I went to work and like I
How do
stood
you know
up.
it's a concussion.
Cause I got it checked. And like I started like I was like I was so deathly afraid because I thought it was COVID, even though like I didn't have like a dry cough or anything.
Right.
Like I didn't have any of the symptoms of COVID, but like I just felt bad. Like I felt like sick. And I was like, well, here we go. I got the Rona.
Yeah.
No, but then like I was Googling and I was like Googling like how I felt and it was like, oh, maybe you have concussion. And I was like, okay, well, time to go check with the professionals. And like, yes, you have a very, very mild concussion. I'm like, oh, okay then.
Jesus,
Well, fuck.
I mean, better than the COVID.
Yeah, better than the COVID, but it's like it didn't register for like hours. And then like I was there working and like I stood up and I almost immediately fell back down. And if I didn't have pressure around my ears, like my headphones or something, like just like tightly wrapped, like I would get like this super intense headache, like that made me want to fucking kill myself. Like it was bad.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. It was a weird second because like I felt like throwing up every second and I was like, yeah, shit was wild. Oh, and then like when we were selling lamps over here, like this homeless person just came up like, hey, can I charge my phone? It's
They
like,
literally asked.
yeah, they're like, hey, but like my mom didn't understand him because he was speaking English and my mom doesn't speak English. And my mom thought he was asking for money. And he's like, no, I don't want money. And like he looked a little bit offended that my mom said that. But then I was like, oh, she doesn't understand Spanish. I mean, she doesn't understand English. and he's like, oh, okay, that's okay. And then he tried to offer my mom pain meds because he saw her limping.
Oh my God.
That is attractive. For sure.
And he was just like talking to him too.
That's funny.
He was like talking to himself, like waiting for his phone to charge, and he kept getting mad that his phone was charging so slowly.
Damn. You get fireworks.
Yeah. And then like he offered he offered to pay us for letting him charge his phone, and he just brought out like a wad of cash, just like a shit ton of cash. Like, how much do you want for us? Thanks for letting me charge my phone here. And then he and then he was like to my dad, hey, can I buy this chair? Because we let him sit down. And he was like, can I buy this chair? And he's like, sure, can I get $10? And he's like, I don't have $10. And he's like just going through like his cash. Like just flipping it. Like I can't afford 10 cash. Like I can't afford to give you that. Can I get it for 5? My dad's like, oh, 10. And it was just like
cash in your hand.
it's like the most surreal thing that has happened. It's like, what? Who
You
are
almost get
you?
robbed
Uh,
one time.
oh, we got almost robbed a bunch of times.
Name one.
Name one. Okay, so like I think I told this story on the cast before too. Like
Is it about your mom?
yeah, it's about my mom. Like a bunch of
Okay,
people
no,
just
tell a different one then.
a different one. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. This time we got robbed, but it was only technically a robbery. It's more like my dad being a fool. So like we were in that same area, right? And like we frequently like part of our business, like people frequently like say like, hey, let me get that lamp from their car, like out on the street, and we'll take down the lamp and we'll run and they'll give us the money and we'll give them the lamp,
Right.
and then that's it. They'll drive off.
Right.
Oh my God.
This one time a car did that, and they were like, hey, can I get that one? And I was like, they look kind of strange, and they were laughing.
Right.
And my dad was like, oh, sure. He pulls down the lamp and he runs over and they're like dying in the car. And I'm like, why are they dying? Like, why are they laughing? Like, they're just buying. Like, it's not that funny. Like,
Right.
but I was like, maybe, they could be telling a joke or whatever. And like, they dying. And when my dad handed over the lamp, they just started dying. And then they punched it. They gassed it straight out of there. Like, without paying or anything. They just,
They dipped out.
yeah, they dipped out.
Right.
But like, what kind of like made me like, what the fuck was the fact that they were doing it like on a red light. Like we're like on a street corner at a stoplight, and they just
Right.
bolted through the red light at a busy intersection just to steal a fucking $20 lamp. Like, yo,
Yeah, nah,
that's not worth it.
ghetto-ass motherfuckers, dude.
They had a beat up car too, so like, it's like, yo,
You just have like a hammer with them and just smash windows. You know what I mean?
we have a rod in the car. Like we have a rod in the van, like a metal rod, because like okay, yes, we could use it as a weapon, but also we need it like in case we get a flat tire, we need it to actually for leverage to like undo like the bolts on the tire. Like, you know how you change a tire, right?
Yeah.
Like ours are actually like really stuck on there, so like we have to use that or else it won't come off. So we use that for that, but it also makes a nifty metal bat. Just
Fucking nuke them in the face.
yeah, just fucking yo, teeth gone.
Huh? Huh?
Oh, I don't think I ever told the story on the cast about when we saw like a vehicle spontaneously combust.
Shit.
Did I ever tell that story here?
Tell me more.
Okay, so basically we were selling lamps, right? And then we just out of nowhere see this car coming down the street at like 80 miles an hour, just fucking bolting it. And they park into the parking lot, and we just see everyone jump out of the vehicle and start scattering. And like
God.
then seconds later at the gas station, the car just kind of bursts into flames like from the front. And like everyone, and like we immediately call like the ambulances, like hey, yo, there's this car on fire. You know, maybe you want to stop it before the fire reaches the actual gas, because these fucking retards parked it right next to the gas pump. Like,
Jesus.
like, and then I just see like before the ambulances, like the firefighters get there, like I just see a bunch of people running with like beach sand back to the car. Like, where the fuck did you get beach sand? We're in the middle of fucking South Central. Like, oh, but okay, whatever. And like
rob the children's center.
like really, and like then everyone just starts like all the ambulances start showing up and they start putting out the fire. But it was like those few minutes when the vehicle burst into flames, like because it actually got set on fire. Like it was actually on fire. Like the vehicle was fucking burning next to a gas pump. They were like some of the most intense like couple of minutes that like I've ever experienced. Because I'm right across the street from this. Like I'm right looking at this possible explosion of just disproportionate retardation. And just what the fuck is going on here?
I don't know, dude.
Like,
Let's go till Friday, guys.
oh yeah, it's an hour. Fuck. We went from stocks to explosions.
Hell yeah.
Oh no, not. I'm gonna save it for next time. Like, there's a bunch of shit going on in like the atheist community on YouTube. Like,
Oh wow. How are those 13-year-olds doing?
Well, a bunch of them just turned right wing, so, and a bunch of people are mad.
That
So,
doesn't surprise me at all. But
excuse you?
Brook till Friday.
All right, Brook till Friday.
All right, bye everybody.
Oh shit, I'm supposed to stop recording.
We're broke till Friday. Goodbye, my friends. We'll see you next week. Now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday. Bye, my friends. We'll see you next week. And now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday.